TV. My name is Nekme Obasoge, reporting from Toronto, Canada. We are here today to report news about the crisis in Edo House of Assembly. Joining me today is Mr. Daniel Edokpolo Obakozuwa, all the way from the ancient city of Benin. Hello, Mr. Daniel.
Hello, good evening from Nigeria.
Good morning from Canada, Mr. Daniel. Thank you for joining us today. This breaking news just came in this morning that the Speaker of House, Frank Okiye, was impeached, and Marcus Onobun was
Onobun.
elected. Onobun was elected as the new Speaker of House. What is going on? Hmm.
Well, details, we are expecting details about it later, though he has been accused of financial misappropriation and others. Uh, uh, a staff of the House I discussed with today
Mhm.
said they are still discussing on a peaceful resolution. Peaceful resolution, is it to retain him? No, because a new speaker has already been appointed,
Yes.
elected, has already been elected.
Mm.
So maybe they will have to reduce, if the negotiation is going on, maybe to reduce the 3 months suspension that they handed over to Frank Okiye and the committee they constituted to investigate
Mm.
uh, his tenure as speaker. So, well, we are still expecting to hear from them this, very soon about how they will go about it.
Hmm. This is not a suspension
Mm,
because they removed him totally. For them to elect a new Speaker of
speaker.
House, which means he was not suspended.
No, no,
Yeah.
they removed him. They elected a new one.
Mm.
They set up a committee to investigate him. They suspended him from house for 3 months.
Oh, okay.
They
Okay.
suspended him from the house for 3 months to allow the committee to work and investigate his tenure. But
Oh,
a staff of the house who I discussed with today said they
mm,
are still discussing on a peaceful resolution. Anyway, the peaceful resolution may be to
mm,
reduce the suspension, to immediately allow him to continue to
mm.
start sitting with them. Maybe those are issues they will look at. But the resolution, whatever peaceful resolution, is not to bring him back because a new speaker has immediately been elected.
Oh, so not to bring him back as the
No, no,
Speaker of House,
that's
but he will remain as a member
as a
of
member of the
House.
house. Yes,
But right now, he was removed or suspended as a
He-
member of the House as well.
yes, he was removed and suspended for 3 months.
Ooh,
uh, Suspended from the house sitting for 3 months to allow the committee they said they set up to
mm,
investigate him.
okay. So this article from AIT that a member of the Edo State House of Assembly have removed the Speaker Frank Okiye from office over allegations of financial misappropriation, among others. His removal from office followed the motion moved by Henry Okunobo, representing Ikpoba Ọhà State constituency and seconded by Emmanuel Okunduwa from Asian North East State constituency. Okiye has been removed from the office barely 1 month to the inauguration of Governor Godwin Obaseki for his second term. Mm, okay, yeah. Mm, we don't know what exactly happened.
Uh, that is what maybe they will give us details about why they removed him. But one thing that I believe is very fair is that the person even elected is
Mm,
also from the same constituency. So the power sharing formula is still intact. It's
mm,
from Assam West, Marcus Onobun,
mm. Marcos. Mhm.
who is also is from ASO. The formula still remains balanced.
Mm. And they have only 10 members in the House of Assembly, while all of them voted against him.
Yes, 10 members, apart from himself, nine signed the impeachment
Impeachment.
notice.
Mm.
So it was carried because these are those who have been inaugurated
Mm.
so far.
Okay. Yeah, 9 of them. Yeah. So, which means it's a serious case for all the members to sign this impeachment. You understand that, Mr. Daniel? Yeah, all of
Well,
them signed the impeachment, which,
yes,
yeah,
yes, yes, all of them.
we must have done something very wrong. Yeah.
Well, the alleged information reaching me, I don't know whether that is true.
Hmm.
Uh, that Okiye refused to decamp to PDP.
But he decamped prior
I
to the
don't
election.
know.
No, he
Uh,
decamped. He
okay,
publicly decamped to PDP
okay,
before the
okay.
election. We even
Because
documented the news when he decamped. After Obaseki decamped to PDP, he was the next person. Yeah, he
okay,
decamped. Yeah,
okay.
I don't think that is the
Um,
problem here. We don't know. This news just came out now. We're going to get more updates about this, definitely. And Governor Obaseki has not responded to this crisis in the House of Assembly.
well, it's a house matter. Don't
Mm,
forget that the legislators are also independent as the executive. So since it's a house matter,
mm,
one would expect the new speaker to bring harmony into the house if they are calling for election for those 14 houses that are Okiye declared vacant, or if they are going to renegotiate with them and see how they can be inaugurated. Well, it's a good one.
mm,
When we talk of politics may not be the way we want it as it's laid down in the constitution. You understand?
mm,
Uh, Frank Okiye may be very difficult to negotiate with because he was the one who passed the motion that those 14 houses of assembly should be declared vacant. And the governor has ever since stood by it that since they neglected
mm.
their their functions, they they should call for a new election. But with the new speaker, I think they can also open negotiation. There are two ways now to negotiate with those 14 members and discuss with the executive and eventually get them inaugurated, or stand by the ground to have them uh, conduct a fresh election for those 14 houses of assembly. It's a good one. If I tell you that it's part of democracy, just as someone said, change is inevitable, but
Mm.
this is a good one. Now that the speaker who passed that motion is no more, it is open now for negotiation for a new speaker to either discuss with the 14 members or a new election is being held.
Mm. Let's just wait and see what is going to happen. I know for sure that we're going to get more updates. It's too new. It's just a fresh crisis that just popped out this morning. So as time progresses, we're going to get more updates about this news. So meanwhile, Mr. Daniel, we are not very impressed with the performances of the people of Ondo State, the way they were selling their votes to politicians in the state was obvious, honestly. There's no way we can compare Edo election with that of Ondo. Mm,
Well, election have been done in Ondo. Uh, Let us congratulate the winner, the governor,
mm,
the incumbent governor for winning the election. Vote buying in has come to stay in Nigerian politics. It depends on level of education. You understand?
mm,
The people decided to collect the money and vote the governor.
mm,
In Edo State, the people collected the money and voted their conscience, having or because of the campaign of the godfatherism, they want to wipe away godfatherism. It depends on level of education and enlightenment. So the winner has been declared.
mm.
It is now left for the people of Ondo to enjoy whatever they have, whoever they have chosen to rule over them. Why would I expect the governor to concentrate on redevelopment for Ondo State? Ondo, if you look at the western state, I think Ondo is one of the state that is really lacking in terms of development. You should try and beef it up. There are many industrial layouts that can be built for Ondo people to enjoy free flow, just like as we said already. There are a lot of other cities, towns within Ondo. So we expect development. So whether the people collected the money and vote according to those who gave them money, fine for them. In Edo, it was different. They collected and voted their conscience. So congratulations to what is his name again?
Akrodolo.
Akeredolu for coming back to winning the election for the second time. So no problem. It's the choice of the people, so they have to wait and enjoy it for the next 4 years.
Ondo election was a threat to democracy in Nigeria, Mr. Daniel, honestly. It was
One,
a big
one,
threat
one.
to
I don't
democracy.
see any threat in it.
Where
I don't see.
when where
I don't see
people
any threat in it. First, the election was peaceful.
okay.
No record of violence as against. I think kudos to me. I will give kudos to INEC this time around in Edo, in Ondo. There was less violence as compared to election that was held in Kogi, Ekiti. Are you getting it?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes.
So the election was less. There was less. We didn't hear much of violence and shooting. The problem we had also in Edo, vote buying. Even in Edo, it is not only APC that was buying votes. PDP was also sharing the money, but the people left their home. You understand, with the intent of voting Obaseki. So what they did was just to collect and vote according to their conscience, because a lot of campaigning was done by Obaseki and the team. Even here in Nepo TV, you can remember we tried to analyze all APC's tricks. They need a governor who is a politician, not a technocrat. I can remember we all dwell on it to enlighten the people of the danger of having a governor who is a politician. You remember, there was a lot of enlightenment. So a lot of people knew what they were going for. Fighting godfatherism, not to share the money among the politicians for development's sake. So the vote were done. The people, the both parties went there with money, tried to convince the people, but the people collected and voted their conscience. As against what happened in Ondo, you know, though we learned there was a new technique that APC used in Ondo, that anytime if you are going to collect the money 7,000, And when you get there, use your phone to do a shot that to show that you actually voted for APC. Be it as it may, election was done. There was no violence. The people voted according to their choice. Nobody pressurized them. They decided to collect the money and vote according to their choice. Because if you actually collect the money and you want to vote against that, it is also their choice. So they have voted. One thing I'm happy is that there was violence free as against other elections. So kudos to INEC. I think if this continues, let the people. It's the people that decided. They said that when I learned there was a speaker who came on Mepo that the people were coerced. Nobody coerced you. You collected the money and decided to vote. So it's still the people's choice. It is what they wanted for the next 4 years.
Mr. Daniel, let's look at this critically. Let's look at it. The root causes of this vote buying. Why these people decided to sell their vote. We have to analyze this issue critically. Majority of the people living in the rural area, those who are living in extreme poverty, were more vulnerable to vote buying during the election period. While those in the cities, especially the Akure, we are not praised to these politicians during election period. Why? Let's look at it from this angle. Okay, politicians in Nigeria will subject citizens to extreme poverty so that they can manipulate them and buy their votes during election period. Okay, and I also blame those who are well informed in Ondo State for failing to give proper awareness to those living in rural areas. According to what one of the reporters told me, there is one particular region in Ondo State. These people haven't seen what is electricity for the past 10 years. What do you expect in such region? The question
Uh,
is whether or not they have access to TV. Are they watching news? Do they even know what is going on in the country? Probably no. So these people are more vulnerable to vote buying during election period. And the politicians, they are happy to subject these people into extreme poverty so that they can manipulate them.
uh,
So you don't blame them. These people were not well informed. Let's look at this, the root causes of this poverty, the illiteracy level. The governor, this current governor of Ondo State, has not been encouraging education in the state. He came to power and tripled tuition fees in the state. People who were paying 30,000 for tuition, today they said they are paying more than 100,000 for tuition. We don't blame, and for me, I won't blame the citizens because they are so ignorant that they don't even know what they were doing. They decided to stand inside the rain because of 7,000, not to vote their questions, but to collect the 7,000. Tell me.
well, in Africa, it is always one of the disadvantages you can mention that is working against democracy is poverty and suffering, and that you cannot remove. You understand? Poverty is one of the disadvantage or obstacle to free, fair election or the so-called democracy in this part of the world. Be it as it may, if you look at the election, about the poverty that you don't blame the people, well, you don't blame the people. I will keep saying orientation. Come to Edo, for instance. You understand? Ekpoma is very high in terms of school fees. But the zeal of the people wanting to go to school, Edo people, they go elsewhere to look for where it is cheap and acquire the education. Many Edo people went to Mediguri at that time. I have a friend who went to the Mediguri to study, University of Mediguri at that there was not this period of crisis. Because when she compared Ekboma, she got an admission in AAU and compared the fee, even with the rating of the North, where we have indigenous and non-indigenous fee, comparing it, and says that she will be better there. And today she's a graduate. You understand? That is not the issue. It is the choice of the people. If they want to remain in that abject poverty, it is left for them because their vote will also. But however, just as you have said, we pointed it out. You look at Akure area, you see how this vote swing. A lot of enlightenment is in that area,
The
and the
result from
yes,
Akure
yes, the
was
result
more
also
organic.
shows.
Was more organic,
The
yes.
results also shows what they actually wanted. In Akure area, you saw it. It is also left if the PDP were actually willing to, with all they had to spend much. They would have gone to those royal area to do likewise. And with all due respect, because if that is what the people need at that time, and democracy, and we have always emphasized in Nigeria, is very, very expensive. You understand? If APC was doing it in those royal area for vote, because you would have also concentrated in those rural area. This is planning. When you work out your plans, how you are expecting to win this election. You concentrated too much on the town where enlightenment is there, and you got the vote. Why they also
Yeah.
went to the interior to concentrate on their vote, share the money, give, bought their vote, and conscience because the people needed it. But the only prayer I will pray for the governor now that he has won, he should do his best to ensure that development goes to those royal area. Whether they collected money to vote for him, Ondo should be allowed to grow. That is my own prayer. He is not the first governor that have ruled the Ondo. What did Miko do? Let us begin to analyze. Ondo is still, with all due respect to them, still one of those backward states we can count in the West. Majority of the disadvantage they always have, majority of the people, the so-called enlightened people, don't even stay within the state. It is when it is time for politics they go home. Are you telling me those enlightened people, many of them do not come from the those area in quote we call the abject poverty area? What will it take you to go and construct their roads?
They are not according to
This is what we are saying. If God has blessed you and you decide to come back home and just a lot of people are praising Igbenedion today because when you look at Okada was one of the villages but Okada is no more called a village now. It's a town, a mega city within Benin, Edo State. So it depends on the people. So we cannot say because abject poverty you allow to sell your vote. It's left for them. It's their choice. Nobody forced them to collect it. Nobody forced them. There was no gun on them. Just as you said, in the rain, they stood just to collect the money to vote. It's selling and buying now. So they have gotten it.
inside the rain.
That is it.
They were standing there not to vote their conscience, but to sell their votes. 7,000 peanut money. According to what they told me, they said the next day there's a market there, one popular market there. That many of them even came out so that they would get money for the next day market. It was a big business for them.
To go and buy
You can
food stuff.
if you yes, you can even see where people were the movement of people, they were happy that they came out to get some peanut money. It's like a benefit, government benefit during election period in Nigeria. Hmm? And according to what they told me, they said these people believe that the only time they can get money from the government during election period. So they don't want to be left alone. They just get their money. They don't care about whoever wins the election. It's not their business. Hmm? So, I blame those who are
But
well enlightened in the state for failing to educate those living in the rural areas, those who are less educated. They failed to enlighten them about the precautions of collecting money and selling their votes during election period, like the one of Edo State. You cannot compare Edo election with Ondo at all. There's no way. No way, no way. Everything is different. Because in Edo election, they were well informed. Well informed Edo people, well informed. And those of us in diaspora also shaped the election by also influencing our family members back home. But the one of all those states, no, I don't see any influence from the diaspora like that. Maybe small, but not too much like the Edo election. So we cannot compare Edo election with Ondo because it's completely different. When you look at Ondo election, it's like the stereotypical elections in Nigeria. Stereotypical